Good morning. Is my voice audible? Am I audible or not? Shubhada Deshmukh, then Pranali.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So still some students are joining. Up to the joining of remaining students, we will wait for a minute or two. Okay. And after that, we will continue with our discussion. Okay, so currently there are total 11 students. Let's start our discussion. If you remember well, in our last lecture, we had come to the point of writing this technical report and which are the contents or contents of a technical report. So basically, let's review. Let's take a review of what a technical report is. As I had told you earlier, a technical report is a document, a thesis, or you can call it as a project, which is used for making your research aware or known to other people. Okay, so that is the purpose of this technical report. So how is it written? How is it prepared? That is what is the point of discussion in this lecture. So basically the first page of that report or technical report is title page, which includes the research problem, then the name of researcher or researchers, and the guide, the university, the organization, etc. So let's see what these lines say regarding this first page, that is title page. So this is the first page, which includes report title, the name or names of the person or persons who prepared the report, department, etc. This page of report is not numbered. So numbering is not done on this first page. After that, the second part of a technical report is the abstract. So abstract is the summary of your report in a qualitative way. There is no any table, no any calculation, okay, no any diagram in this abstract part. It is in around 150 words, and that tells why this research is necessary or what is the need of that research. So let's see what these lines say. An abstract is a concise description of the report, including its purpose and most important results. An abstract must not be longer than half a page and must not contain figures or make reference to them. The results may be summarized in the abstract, but qualitatively, not quantitatively. No specific technical jargon, means technical words, abbreviations, or acronyms should be used. It is because your research should be understandable to any common reader, common person from the society. And for that purpose, we have to avoid difficult technical terms, some abbreviations or acronyms, etc. This is not a numbered page of the report. Okay, again, the way in which the title page is not numbered, This abstract page is also not numbered. After that, the next element of a technical report is the table of contents, or which you call index, which is at the beginning of a book or a text or a thesis. मग त्याच्यामध्ये काय असतं तर the main topic, subtopics, and their page numbers. So those details are there in table of contents. So we can see it includes all the report sections, subsections, and appendices or appendix. This is not a numbered page of the report again. Okay. So this is the logic. This is the way in which a technical report should be composed or designed. Then the fourth element is introduction. So introduction is very necessary. It is necessary to create a background of your research in the minds of the readers. To understand, you have to introduce what your problem is and how that problem is beneficial for society at large. Okay, so let's see these what these lines say. Okay, this section of the report includes the objective of the work. उद्देश काय आहे त्या रिसर्च करण्यामागचा, a brief description of the problem, a small or concise description of the problem or research problem or whatever observation you have done, okay, and how it is to be solved. This section should provide the reader with an overview of why the work was performed, how the work was performed, and the most interesting results. This can usually be accomplished with ease if the work has clearly stated its objectives. After introducing the problem, indicate how those objectives are met. The length of this section depends upon the purpose, but the author should take care of brevity, clarity, and interest. So what all this introduction is about, you have learned it here. After that, the next element is background theory or theoretical background. See, whatever research you do, that research has some technical principles, technical knowledge, or technical theories as the background. Different laws, different principles, different rules, different equations provide the base to your research. So, to make your research more understandable, more clear to the reader, you have to give the theoretical background, theoretical concepts, okay, in some sections or subsections, so that the understanding of your research by the reader will be clear. So let's see what these lines say. Each new experiment has the base of some theoretical concepts. Those relevant theories should be explained in brief for the better understanding of the report. This section may be divided into subsections if appropriate. जो theoretical background नावाचा जो भाग आहे, जो section आहे, that can be divided into sections or subsections as per our requirement. After that, the sixth point is procedure or methodology used. Whenever there is a research, there is an experiment, that time there is specific procedure or specific methodology, specific setup, specific logical sequence of activities, we can say. And that needs to be explained to the readers, maybe in a form of a flow chart. Now we know what a flow chart is, की ज्याच्यामधून आपण एखाद्या एक्सपेरिमेंट मधला स्टेप सांगत असतो. पहिल्यांदा काय करायचं, नंतर काय करायचं, त्यानंतर काय केलं वगैरे. So that part comes here. So let's see what these lines say. This section contains the details about the methodology or procedures used by the researcher during the experimentation or study. In this section, there is explanation about the selected material, procedures, etc. Proper logical sequence should be maintained for better understanding of the readers. It should be brief and pointed. Suitable diagrams, visuals like images, etc. can be used as per the requirement. There should be proper numbering and titles given to the tables or diagrams, etc. So all these things are necessary to be presented under that title, procedure or methodology used. After that, the next and most important element is results, findings, or you can call it as observations and discussion. So after your experiment, whatever you observed, whatever results you got, those results need to be summarized. That too, not in a not in a qualitative, but quantitative manner. Not in theoretical, but a specific manner. Okay, so let's see what these lines say. This section of the report includes the final results or facts obtained by the researcher or reporter and their discussion. The new results can be compared with earlier results, and the usefulness of new results should be highlighted during discussion. So I have already told you that you are not the first researcher in any area. Whatever research has been done earlier in that specific area, it provides the base. And out of that earlier experiment, some results are found. And you have to compare your own results with the earlier results, and you have to highlight the novelty or specialty of your own research. That is expected here. And people or those readers are always interested in knowing what a new part is, or what is the novelty, what is the innovation from your research. Okay, and to meet that need, we have to highlight our own results by comparing them with earlier results. Okay, the results should be mentioned in specific terms, and there should be logical sequence in stating the results. Logical sequence again matters a lot. After that, the next point is conclusion. So what is your conclusion after going through all the procedures, methodologies, experiments, and activities? So you have to summarize it. The way in which we had put some introductory qualitative information in abstract, in the same way, you have to put the information in this conclusion. And abstract, try to understand that abstract and conclusion, they are largely similar. Okay, they are in the form of a summary, a brief summary of your research. Okay, so let's see what these actual lines say. In this final section of the body of the report, the author should briefly bring everything together. It is similar to the abstract, except that now the results are concluded upon in a quantitative way. Therefore, the conclusion should be a concise description of the report, including its purpose and most important results, providing specific quantitative information. The conclusion should not contain figures or make reference to them. We have seen this thing in abstract also. As with the abstract, the reader should be able to read this section on its own, which means that there should be no specific technical jargon, abbreviations, or acronyms used. So again, we have to make this conclusion part readable to a common person. May it be a student, may it be a researcher, may it be common person, common literate person. Okay, taking them into consideration, we have to simplify this conclusion part. After that, the next element is works cited or references. So your research is never your own. It is supported by different authors, different books, different websites. Okay, and you borrow the knowledge from those resources. And it is your responsibility to mention the resources whichever you have referred in the course of your research. Okay, so here you have to go for bibliography. Bibliography is the list of books with the details of the author, date of publication, edition, etc. Okay, and another term which you need to keep in mind is bibliography. Bibliography is the list of the websites whichever you have used for collecting information as the resource. Okay, try to understand. And if you go for bibliography and bibliography, then these works cited or references are complete. Okay. So under this title, concentrate on the screen. Under this title, the list of all works cited in the report should be provided. Simply, the list includes all the important bibliographical information, the websites referred, etc. Okay. But we have to take care that we are not copying and pasting the information as it is. No, that spoils the quality of your research. Okay, you have to be original in putting your own ideas in your own ways, and that will be appreciated by the readers, by the technical community. Okay, then the last element is appendix, which is optional part. It may or may not be there. If the writer or if you feel, suppose you own are the writer of that or researcher of that specific research, then it depends upon your own choice whether to go for this appendix part or not, whether to include it or not. If you find that some more discussion needs to be done regarding the basic information or some calculations or some tables, etc., then you can attach this appendix, which is additional extra part for better understanding, better reference of those readers. Okay, so let's see what these lines say. This is optional section. The materials used in an appendix may include lab sheets, parts list, diagrams, extensive calculations, error analysis, and lengthy computer programs, etc. Okay, या सगळ्या गोष्टी त्या appendix मध्ये असू शकतात. After that, we can see here that there are different types of reports which may not be necessary to be learned at this juncture for you. Just have a look, and whenever in future you will be at workplace, those reports will help you. So there are structural reports, then analytical reports, periodic reports. Periodic means those reports which are sent after certain time gap or after certain time span. Then feasibility report, progressive report, informational report, and evaluation report. So these are different types of reports. So here our 4.2 is over. After that, there is 4.3, that is précis writing. So I'll tell you in short, this précis writing means summary writing. Now we may not have enough time to go in the details of each word and each line. So to be short and to save the time, I'd like to tell you in brief. Okay, this précis writing is the way to abbreviate or shorten or make your matter concise or compact. So your question might be that why to make our messages compact, or why to go for abbreviating the information. So I'd like to tell you that in profession or in business, those officials don't have enough time space for reading lengthy messages. We can understand. So we need to have the skill of putting the same message, putting the same lengthy message into a concise or short form, short but exact form, which will not miss any drop of meaning. Okay? आपल्याला एखादा मॅटर शॉर्ट करायचा आहे, म्हणजेच आपण नुसतीच काटछाट करायची नाहीये. तर समजा 10 ओळीमध्ये जो अर्थ आहे तोच तुम्हाला 3 ओळीमध्ये सांगायचा आहे. दॅट इज précis writing. मग शब्दांची निवड करणं, वाक्यरचनांचं पूर्ण ज्ञान असणं, या गोष्टी याच्यामध्ये खूप महत्त्वाच्या आहेत. Earlier you might have gone for paraphrasing or summary writing or 1/3 writing, maybe from your 5th standard to 12th standard, and same is here. So I think nothing much can be explained about this précis writing. So here are some characteristics of good press writing. The notes are already with you. Just go through them, try to understand. Okay, so we'll have a look at these characteristics in short. Okay, so see the first characteristic. A good pressing is not merely a list of main ideas of the passage. The ideas are to be organized and expressed in a logical sequence so that the précis seems like an original piece of composition. Okay, you might be thinking that why sir has shifted or why sir is so fast or little fast as compared to our earlier lectures. So I can understand that your examination is close or near and we don't have any university examination for this content. Okay, so just to have specific ideas we will discuss, and in this lecture itself we will conclude our syllabus. Will it be okay for you? Is it okay or not? Actually, I don't like this way, but considering the time constraint, we are going for it. Okay, we are being little practical now. Are you clear? Yes, no,
yes, sir.
Okay. So come to the first point. A good précis is not merely a list of the main ideas of a passage. The ideas are to be organized and expressed in a logical sequence so that the précis seems like an original piece of composition. तर बघा आपण पीपीटी मध्ये वगैरे बुलेट्स टाकत असतो. एखादी दुसरी फ्रेज आणि बुलेट्स टाइप मध्ये माहिती देत असतो. मग तसं करणं म्हणजे प्रेसी रायटिंग नाहीये. छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स लिहिणं म्हणजे प्रेसी रायटिंग नाहीये. तर what your message is, it must be clear to the reader. Okay, then come to the second point. A good précis should contain all the essential ideas in the original passage, omitting non-essential detail, examples, etc. बघा तुम्ही काय ओमिट करू शकताय तर एक्झाम्पल्स ओमिट करू शकताय किंवा ज्या गरजेच्या गोष्टी नाहीत ठीक आहे त्या पण तुम्ही ओमिट करू शकता किंवा रिमूव्ह करू शकता. The ideas should be as far as possible in the same order as in the original. तो मूळ मॅटर आहे त्या मूळ मॅटर मध्ये ज्या सिक्वेन्सनी आयडियाज मांडलेल्या आहेत त्याच लॉजिकल सिक्वेन्सनी तुम्ही तुमच्या प्रेसी मध्ये सुद्धा विचारांची मांडणी केली पाहिजे. Okay, the same sequence should be followed, or it makes the link in understanding of the readers. Okay, we should remember that in a précis one should not add anything that the original passage does not contain. बघा मूळ पॅसेज मध्ये ज्या गोष्टी नाहीत त्या गोष्टी तर आपण कधीच त्याच्यामध्ये ऍड करायच्या नसतात, आपल्या समरी मध्ये ऍड करायच्या नसतात. किंवा तुमचे पर्सनल जजमेंट्स, पर्सनल ओपिनियन्स, पर्सनल इमोशन्स, पर्सनल रिॲक्शन्स या कधीही त्याच्यामध्ये ऍड करायच्या नसतात. त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला एक पॅसिव्ह, एक थर्ड पर्सन, एक ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह पर्सन म्हणून, नॉट सब्जेक्टिव्ह, लक्षात घ्या, एक तटस्थ व्यक्ती म्हणून तुम्हाला मूळ मॅटरचं ॲब्रिव्हिएशन करायचं आहे समरीच्या स्वरूपात. ओके, तुम्हाला काय वाटतंय यापेक्षा मूळ मॅटर मधल्या ऑथरला काय वाटतंय ते तुम्ही ट्रान्सफर केलं पाहिजे. दॅट इज द थिंग. ओके, वी शुड रिमेंबर that in a précis one should not add anything that the original passage does not contain. There is no need to comment on the original matter either. Comments पण करण्याची गरज नाही, आपल्याला काय वाटतं ते सांगण्याची गरज नाही. Okay, come to the third point. The language of précis should be clear, brief and précis, maintaining at the same time the style and spirit of the original. बघा मूळ मॅटरची जी स्टाईल आहे त्याच्यानंतर जे स्पिरिट आहे की नाही, जी प्रेरणा आहे तीच प्रेरणा तुमच्या छोट्या मेसेज मधून पण रिफ्लेक्ट झाली पाहिजे. म्हणजे मूळ लेखकाच्या ज्या भावना आहेत, जे विचार आहेत ते आहे तसे आपण कॅरी करायचे आहे. without affecting it because of our own mentality. बघा, आपण जसं म्हणतो की व्यक्ती तितक्या प्रवृत्ती, तसंच काय असतं तर प्रत्येक माणसाचा एखाद्या गोष्टीचं इंटरप्रिटेशन करण्याचा वे हा वेगवेगळा असतो. समजा एखादी लाईन दिली तर त्या लाईनचं 10 पद्धतीने इंटरप्रिटेशन होऊ शकतं. मला जे वाटतंय त्याच्यापेक्षा माझ्या शेजारच्याला वेगळं वाटू शकतं किंवा वेगळ्या अँगलने तो त्याच्याकडे पाहत असू शकतो. राईट, अंडरस्टँड. मग ही जी विविधता आहे लोकांच्या परसेप्शनची, that should not be or that should not affect the root or base or original message. हे आपण याच्यामध्ये लक्षात घ्यायचं आहे. ठीक आहे. Then come to the fourth point. The precis should be written in indirect speech. Now हे आता indirect speech काय आहे तुम्ही शिकलेलं असाल maybe in your earlier standards, where reporting is done by people and that too by altering certain words. मग आपल्याला माहिती आहे इथचं वॉज होतं, आयचं ही होतं किंवा आयचं शी होतं. बोलणारे व्यक्ती कोण आहे त्याच्यावर. समजा असं वाक्य असेल की मी काहीतरी बोलतोय, तुम्हाला बोलतोय आणि त्याचं रिपोर्टिंग तुम्ही तुमच्या मित्रांना किंवा घरी करताय. मग मी समजा म्हटलं की आय एम हॅपी टुडे, तेच तुम्ही तुमच्या मित्रांना घरच्यांना सांगताना कसं म्हणणार? सर म्हणाले की मी हॅपी आहे असं म्हणणार की सर म्हणाले की ते आनंदी होते, ते त्या दिवशी आनंदी होते. दॅट इज द डिफरन्स ऑफ टाइम, certain words, certain pronouns, etc. So that should happen in this precis writing. Then come to the next fifth rule, fifth characteristic. A good precis should, as far as possible, be in the writer's own words. बघा, मूळ जो लेखक आहे त्या लेखकाच्या मूळ शब्दामध्येच आपण precis लिहिली पाहिजे. कारण आपल्याला माहिती आहे की जसा शब्द बदलतो त्याचं तसं इम्प्लिकेशन बदलतं, अर्थ बदलतात किंवा काही शब्दाला काही गंध चिकटलेले असतात, चांगले वाईट, हे की नाही. म्हणून आपण शब्दांना अल्टर करायचं नाही, लेखकाच्या मूळ शब्दांना अल्टर करायचं नाही. टू कीप दोज वर्ड्स ॲज दे आर टू मेंटेन द सेन्स ऑफ द ओरिजिनल रायटर. That is necessary here. And come to the last point, it should not exceed or fall short of length described by too large a margin. Usually, the limit set for a precis is 1/3 in the length of the original. त्यालाच आपण 1/3 रायटिंग म्हणतो. तर लेंथ कडे पण लक्ष देणं गरजेचं आहे. समजा 1/3 म्हणजे काय, तर 9 ओळी असतील तर तुम्ही तो मेसेज 3 ओळीमध्ये सांगायचा. दॅट इज द थिंग. 100 ओळी असतील तर साधारण 33 किंवा 34 ओळीमध्ये सांगायचं आहे. दॅट इज द थिंग हिअर. So I hope that you understood what this precis is. It's not a difficult term. Earlier name was summary writing, which we know already. Okay. With this, we have concluded our 4th unit, and let us move ahead for our last unit, that is 5th unit, which is induction to soft skills. So let me share my another screen, and we will proceed further. Well, is my new screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So here you can see our last unit is 5th unit, and it is induction to soft skills. So let's understand what this induction is. So the word induction means introduction, and next important words are soft skills. So in our unit number 3, while we were discussing frequently asked questions, that time I have discussed what hard skills are and what soft skills are. Hope you remember. If you don't remember, then again I will repeat that a person, a candidate, a student, a graduate has two types of skills. One is hard skills, which are related to that candidate's technical expertise, technical knowledge, technical abilities, okay, hands-on experience, practical knowledge or practical experience. And these soft skills are the skills which are related to the personality, thought process, behavior, attitudes, approaches, or vision or angle of vision towards outside world. Or we can call them as personality traits. Soft skills means personality traits, व्यक्तिमत्वाचे गुण. मग एखाद्या व्यक्तीला यशस्वी होण्यासाठी जसं टेक्निकल नॉलेज किंवा टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टाइज गरजेचे असते, तसंच व्यक्तीला यशस्वी होण्यासाठी हे सगळे पीपल स्किल्स किंवा सोशल स्किल्स असणं गरजेचं असतं, बिहेवियरल स्किल्स असणं गरजेचं असतं, चांगलं कम्युनिकेशन असणं, योग्य डिसिजन मेकिंग पॉवर असणं वगैरे बऱ्याच साऱ्या गोष्टी याच्यामध्ये आहेत. वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस ते, बट आय होप that basically you have understood what soft skills are. Soft skills are simply related to your behavior. मग behavior हे काय असतं तर it is the reflection of your internal thoughts, attitudes, mindset, etc. ठीक आहे, म्हणजे आपली जी माइंडसेट असते किंवा आपले जे ॲटिट्यूड्स असतात, अप्रोचेस असतात, त्याचं जे रिफ्लेक्शन म्हणजे काय तर बिहेवियर. Behavior is visible and other things like mindset, your thoughts, they are invisible. That invisible part gets reflected through visible part, that is your behavior. I don't understand. So let's see what this concept of soft skills is. With simple reading itself, you will understand it's nothing difficult. Okay, soft skills refer to a cluster. Cluster means combination or mixture of personal qualities, habits, attitudes, and social skills that make someone a good employee and compatible to work with. Okay. सॉफ्ट स्किल्स म्हणजे काय तर त्याच्यामध्ये तुमच्या पर्सनल क्वालिटीज कॅल्क्युलेट केल्या जातात, तुमच्या सवयी कोणत्या आहेत, तुमचे ॲटिट्यूड्स कोणत्या आहेत, तुमचे सामाजिक कौशल्य, सामाजिक डेव्हलपमेंट कशी झाली आहे एक व्यक्ती म्हणून, वेदर यू आर अ सोशल ऑर नॉट. ओके, आणि ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी असतील तर यू बिकम अ गुड एम्प्लॉई ऑर कम्पॅटेबल फॉर वर्क, बिकॉज बेसिकली युअर वर्क इज अ टीम वर्क, and in team you need to have all these basic qualities of personality to be at least a good employee. Get understand? So come to the second line. Soft skills can be defined as the productive personality traits. Baga, productive personality traits. हे तीन शब्द खूप महत्त्वाचे आहेत. आता productive म्हणजे काय तर आता लक्षात घ्या की केवळ मशीन्स प्रोडक्टिव्ह नसतात, तर माणसांचे विचार सुद्धा प्रोडक्टिव्ह असतात. मग कसले विचार प्रोडक्टिव्ह असतात तर ज्या विचारातून कोणाचे तरी प्रश्न सुटतात, आहे की नाही, ज्या विचारातून नसलेल्या गोष्टी अस्तित्वात येऊ शकतात, चांगल्या गोष्टी, आहे की नाही, ज्या विचारातून कोणाचं तरी चांगलं होतंय, कोणाची तरी समस्या सुटते, अशा विचारांना आपण प्रोडक्टिव्ह थॉट्स असं म्हणतो. अँड प्रोडक्टिव्ह पर्सनॅलिटी ट्रेट्स, तुमच्या व्यक्तिमत्वाचे असे उत्पादक गुण, त्याला आपण सॉफ्ट स्किल्स म्हणतो. उत्पादक म्हणजे काय तर डायरेक्टली उत्पादन नाही आहे त्याच्यामध्ये, तर विच हेल्प्स समवन फॉर बेटरमेंट, एवढं लक्षात घ्या. Which help professional persons, interactions, job performance, as well as career success. Soft skills are different from hard skills. The technical knowledge of any subject is considered as hard skill. The hard skills are related to the technical expertise of a person, whereas soft skills are related to personality, behavior, and attitudes of a person. The hard skills are technical skills which are specific to the certain type of task or work. On the other hand, soft skills are broadly applicable in a variety of situations. Okay. Let's go to the next paragraph. Soft skills are also known as people skills, which are non-academic skills. For the sake of successful professional career, a person should have both hard skills and soft skills. In today's professional scenario, the soft skills are much required in an employee or professional. Those soft skills include social skills, then interpersonal people skills, desire to learn, attitudes, then positive work ethics, different character traits, strong communication skills, emotional intelligence, situational intelligence, and other aspects of a balanced and efficient personality. तर बघा एवढ्या सगळ्या गोष्टींचा समावेश सॉफ्ट स्किल्स मध्ये आहे. Soft skills refer to emotions, insights, feelings, instincts, and interpersonal behavior. या सगळ्या पण गोष्टी त्याच्यामध्ये समाविष्ट आहेत. Soft skills are largely related to EQ, that is emotional quotient, and EI, that is emotional intelligence. So what this emotional intelligence is? Emotional intelligence means understanding our own emotions and also understanding the emotions of others and balancing them. स्वतःच्या भावना ओळखणं, इतरांच्या भावना ओळखणं आणि त्यांच्यामध्ये प्रॉपर बॅलन्स राखणं, that is called as emotional intelligence rather than intelligence quotient. Soft skills play a vital role in employment as well as professional growth. आणि एखाद्या व्यक्तीला आयुष्यामध्ये पुढे जायचं असेल, स्वतःची प्रगती करायची असेल, तर हे सॉफ्ट स्किल्स फार महत्त्वाचे ठरतात. ठीक आहे. सो कम टू द लास्ट पॅराग्राफ. अ पर्सन who has knowledge of soft skills can create his or her special impression and achieve the job as well as future opportunities of progress. आणि साधी गोष्ट आपण लक्षात घेऊयात की चांगली ॲटिट्यूड असणारी व्यक्ती कधीही कुठेही मॅच होऊन जाते किंवा ऍक्सेप्ट केली जाते आणि त्या व्यक्तीला चांगल्या संधी मिळत राहतात. दॅट इज द वन थिंग. जी व्यक्ती ऑनेस्ट आहे, रिलायबल आहे, ठीक आहे. चांगली म्हणजे कशी तर ऑनेस्ट, रिलायबल, और वी कॅन से गुड फॉर ऑफरिंग जॉब और गुड फॉर समथिंग असं असेल तर नक्कीच that person gets opportunities of progress or growth. It is obvious that technical expertise is the prime requirement of a business, but beyond that, different soft skills are required to sustain in the job or profession. बघा, एखादी नोकरी लागायची असेल किंवा नोकरीमध्ये राहायचं असेल तर तुमचे हार्ड स्किल्स जेवढे महत्त्वाचे आहेत तेवढेच तुमचे सॉफ्ट स्किल्स महत्त्वाचे आहेत. तुमचं बिहेवियर महत्त्वाचं आहे. कोऑपरेशन, honesty, reliability, integrity, all these things are very important. Okay. Soft skills enhance the quality of an employee as well as the quality image of the organization in which the employee is working. आणि हे जे चांगले गुण आहेत ते केवळ त्या व्यक्तीचेच इमेज निर्माण करत नसतात, तर ज्या ऑर्गनायझेशन मध्ये ती व्यक्ती काम करते त्या ऑर्गनायझेशनची इमेज सुद्धा उंचावत असते. ओके. किंवा लोक एक ब्रँड तयार होत असतोय, ही कंपनी, अरे ही कंपनी खूप चांगली,